All right. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to you, and I welcome you to another episode of the Show with McAden. I am your host, McCarthy. Adeniyi is my name. Always refer to me, call me by my studio name, by my stage name. And this is the Corporate Life Show with McAden. Today is the 7th day of the month of June 2024, and we are live here on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, at this point in time to discuss an important topic as it may affect you as a professional. And I have a special guest in the house tonight, and she'll be dealing with the questions we have concerning the area of focus for tonight's show. Remember, we have a special topic for our conversation tonight, and it is understanding financial intelligence as a tool for career and business growth. And that is what we're dealing with tonight. Is an exciting one. If you are so happy to join us, please drop a comment in the comment section. Remember, this is the Corporate Life Show with McAden, and that is what we'll be dealing with tonight on the conversation. And my guest tonight is here with me. I will not be doing this alone. She's a specialist on this aspect, on this matter, on this topic. And please do welcome with me to the show tonight, Mrs. Chinyere Uchendu. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the Corporate Life Show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. And yes, I can see the excitement all over your face, because I know you are ready to actually give us the best of all of the knowledge we have missed out as a professional. It baffles me, and I think I need to share this story. I was going to share the story during the advert for the show. I remember when I joined the organization I work for.
Yes.
I heard the story of an old man who has worked in the organization for a long time, and because he had enjoyed the privileges of a free house rent, a free car, a free this, so much of free. So he thought even the salary could be spent freely. And on the date, on the date of retirement, only for him to realize that he has saved nothing, because even the house is staying a full.
It's not his own.
It's not his own. It's not his own. And maybe he never thought he would be asked to pack out. So
one day.
To shock you the more, the only thing that he has of his own is his dress.
Wow.
The chair,
that's sad.
TV, nothing. Even the wardrobe is not his. So he had to live with what? The bag of his dress. To where? God knows where.
Maybe to the village.
Wow. That would be an embarrassing one for him. I'm gonna end this conversation. Yeah, I'm gonna share what happened to him last, because the shocking part of the story, I think I should leave that to the end of the show, so that our audience can enjoy what I have to say about how the man ended up. And who rescued him? That's the reason why we're having this conversation tonight. Understanding financial intelligence. I mean, as a tool for career and business growth. Thank you very much, Mrs. Uchendu, for joining us on the show once again. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, let's go straight to the questions we have for tonight. And I always like it that we come from a place of understanding, a place of definition, so that somebody says something, our world is good by definition. So you react to situations and life scenarios based on how you have defined it. And that's why we're starting the conversation with this. Yes, somebody may say that this is being primary. Yes, we want to start from the simplest question you can ever think of on the show. What is
So that
financial intelligence
people,
and why? Why is it crucial for career and business growth?
okay. Thank you once again for having me on your show. Can you hear me? Okay, so
Yes,
the first thing
loud
is
and
that
clear.
awesome. So there's no question that is too small, especially when it comes to when you're dealing with the public, right? Because the question that seems too little for someone might be another breakthrough for another person. Okay, so
Yeah.
financial intelligence, when we talk of it in a layman's language, is just the ability for you to understand and use financial information, is
Mm,
the ability to understand and use financial information to make informed decisions in your
mm.
business or in your career. So I like, for instance, if I'm teaching or if I'm speaking, I usually ensure that I use the simplest English so that everybody or anyone watching can understand it. So
Of
that
course,
is
that will not
simply
be.
what
It will no longer be communication where we cannot understand you.
exactly right.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
that's just the simple definition of what financial intelligence is. You being able to understand and use the information available and make informed decisions in your business.
Mm,
Then why is it important? It is very important because one is that if you don't have information, how are you going to know whether your business is moving forward or backward? Right? So
mm,
the you being able to have that information will help you to scale your business, will help you to understand if your business is at loss, right? Even if in your business or in your career, whenever you want to, or whenever you think of you or something like financial intelligence, always understand that this is something that will help you to move your business forward. This is something that will make you to that will help you to move your career forward. So one, it will help you to scale, right? It will also help you to understand where to drive your business towards, or to the direction to drive your business. Because we're in an era where sometimes people tend to start a business or start a career because their friend, is succeeding in that area. You need to understand, before I join it, the data, is it showing, or the information I have available, is it something that I can succeed? You don't just jump into and start because someone else is prospering in that area. So these are why your you being able to know what financial intelligence is all about, and also being able to understand the benefits.
wow, wow, interesting. Already the show is getting hot, and here in my corner here, I'm feeling the hotness of the information, the knowledge that will be shared on this show tonight. Please, if you're watching us, drop a comment. That is the only way we can actually relate with you, with your comment, with your opinion, with your idea based on the questions that are raised on this show. And remember, this is Corporate Live Show with McAden. This show takes place every Friday evening where we discuss important issues as it may affect you being a professional or an entrepreneur. So join us tonight and every other night on Friday, where we discuss these matters. And going straight to the next question for Mrs. Uchendu. Question two: how can individuals develop financial intelligence to improve their decision making in professional settings? This is talking about
Okay.
professionals now.
Now, we're in an era where we have information at, like, on our fingertips, right? The first that you can do is you can seek for mentorship, right?
Mm,
There's this saying that mentors are cheat code. So there are things that you don't just, if you notice that things are not working, mentors can help you navigate. Okay, so seek out mentors. Also embrace learning. You can't just keep on doing the same thing over and over again and expect to, or expect a different result. It doesn't happen that way. All right, so you have to embrace constant learning. Things do change. The only thing that is constant is change. All right, so embrace learning and all that. So also ensure that you stay informed, right? For you to be able to, sometimes the information that you have as at last year, some of them are already outdated as I'm talking to you now. So ensure that you stay up to date with information so that if you're using data or if you're analyzing any information, you're not using the outdated one. Then another thing is also to ensure that you know or learn basic financial concepts. You have to learn it, because how are you going to understand financial intelligence, the terms and things and tools used when you don't understand the terms? So there are need it's very important for you to learn the basics, the terms used and all that, so that you can be able to move forward in your profession.
Interesting, interesting. And I feel like that aspect of mentorship is a very big deal for most people. Some people have
True.
this knowledge, and uh, sorry to ask, at what point in my career path, in my chosen field, should I start seeking for mentorship in managing my finance? Because that's not part of the question, yes. But then I quickly need to chip in this question because of the audience that may not ask about this. Should it be at the early
The
stage? Some people feel like,
the
okay,
earlier the better. The earlier the better, so that you not make or take any decision that you're going to regret. The
mm,
earlier the better. For instance, there is there is there's this financial analysis that if you're 20 years and started saving, right,
mm,
what you're going to save, the amount of money that you're going to save from that 20 years to your retirement age, even though there's going to be drop like small money, but at the end of that 60 years or thereabout, you already saved a lot compared to someone starting at 40 years. Do you
mhm,
understand? That's 20 years gap. So the earlier
mm.
the better.
The earlier, the better. Thank you very much. You've heard it from Mrs. Uchendu. Of course, the earlier, the better. Save time now so that
Mm-hmm.
you can accumulate much from your savings. Thank you very much. Quickly going straight to the next question, because yes, we have quite a number of questions for Mrs. Uchendu. And if you are joining us, drop your questions in the comment section as we are live right now, so that we can scratch out those questions as they come in. Thank you. Question three: what role does budgeting plays in enhancing financial intelligence and ensuring business success?
Okay, thank you for that question. Budgeting plays a huge role in
Mm-hmm.
enhancing financial intelligence and also ensuring that you succeed in your business. The first is that it helps you to mitigate risk. You can't just start maybe wishing or hoping. They are not strategy. Wishing, hoping, they are not strategy. So first is
Yeah,
that
that's
when you budget, it helps you to mitigate risk. Also, another important thing is that it also helps you to make informed decisions, right? It helps you to make informed decisions. It helps you to allocate resources, accordingly. You don't just you don't just wish, and hope and say, how I wish there is money there, I would have. How I wish there is this. But when you have budget in place, it helps you to know, okay, this is the amount we have, this is what we're expecting. Then you allocate resources accordingly. Okay, so these are the things that when you budget and have them in place, it helps you to ensure that you have a successful business.
wow, wow, interesting, interesting. More questions are coming, but then I want to ask you, based on what your response is, for this question three, it helps you to take informed decision. That's one of the key things you mentioned there, and I want to ask, how are you able to use this practically right now to make informed decision?
Okay. For instance, I run two businesses, right? I run two
Okay,
businesses called the one is the virtual assistant is a growth and digital marketing agency, right? And usually
okay,
every year we allocate budget for training, right? We allocate budget for marketing, right? Now, if you don't for your business to grow, these are two things you need to do on yearly basis. Okay, now if you don't have a budget for that, or even if you're not able to track what you made at the year end, or maybe quarterly, it depends on the company. But for my own, okay, we track almost more on monthly basis, but at the end of the year we usually have budget for the next year. So now help using the data we have on ground helps us to know, okay, this amount should go to marketing, right? So that we can also reach other people who are not currently patronizing us. So it helps a lot. It helps us to make informed decision and also help us to grow our business. Without budget, you find yourself in financial stress. You're going to be
Mm.
thinking of, how am I going to do this? Whereas you already have the resources, or maybe you can seek out and say, okay, let me apply for grants, or federal government loans and all that for my small business. Then when I get to these are the areas I want to push them. So budgeting is very crucial in your business. So that's how we've been able to apply it in my own marketing. We budget for things, and at the end of the day, it has helped us a lot.
Wow, wow. How interesting that your example focus on those in the entrepreneurial line. What
Thank you.
if I'm not in the business line for now? I'm just a professional working in an organization. How does budgeting help me to? How does budgeting? How do you use the aspect of making an informed decision as a result of budgeting? How does it help me as a professional?
Now, as an individual, as a career person, right? Every month there is pay slip, there is payment slip. So you just said something before we started this program, right? The story you shared, a direct, and which is applicable to most organization. You're entitled. There are certain levels you will reach. You're entitled to, so all those things, all the luxuries and all that. But if you're not able to budget, if you're not able to say, okay, my salary is this, I need to start saving, or I need to start keeping aside some certain amount of money, so that at the end of the year I can afford my personal car in case if uncertainty happens. So that's how to do it. You can decide. It's a personal decision. It's not what someone can do for you, right? But if you feel that you're lagging behind in that area, that's where mentorship also comes in. There are people that are teaching how you can be able to how you can be able to have a budgeting plan for yourself, for business and all that. So you have to seek out mentors who are in that field to help you out.
Interesting. And we are going further, and we are learning more from Mrs. Uchendu, who has been dealing with questions here at the Corporate Life Show with McAden. And it has been a fantastic conversation so far. And I wish we can get more questions outside this platform from the audience, particularly as we continue in the conversation tonight. Remember, this is Corporate Life Show with McAden, and this show takes place every Friday evening. We bring in specialists like Mrs. Uchendu that we have right now, and we discuss topics that affect you as a professional. You don't see this on any platform. We don't limit to just business. We don't limit ourselves to business discussion or career discussion. We also touches on your family lifestyle. And if you join us some weeks ago, we also discuss matters arising in the family. And join us next week. We'll be talking about your health. But for today, we are still talking about understanding financial intelligence as a tool for what? Career growth and business growth. So question 4, I think question 4 is the next question. How can understanding financial statements such as income statement and balance sheet benefit one's career and business management skills?
Okay, one is that there is this the bank.
Let me pause you there before you answer the question. This is a
Okay.
critical question, and most people that are not in the business line, or let me say professional that didn't do courses related to commerce and the likes, are not so familiar with this. So I would like you to just make it simple, or simpler than ever before. Thank you.
Okay, now, so you understanding the financial statements, whether you're into business or you're a professional, right? Let's just start with let me start with just your maybe pay slip, right? At the end of every month, excuse me, you're being paid. And sometimes, in fact, every month, your pay slip is being sent to you via your email. Even if it's not sent to you, you can also request for that. That pay slip is a financial statement, right? So it contains all the things. For instance, you're earning 200,000, right? So in that pay slip, they're going to state categorically the first one, the second one, how that 200,000 came about. So all the things listed there is what comprised is what made up of your salary at month end. That is your financial statement or your income, because that's what you made. That is what you're being paid for. Now, how knowing or understanding your financial statement is going to help you understand that sometimes there is this, usually every January, right? There is bulk payment that is usually made as a professional, right? There is bulk payment, maybe your housing, your accommodation allowance, and all those things. So all those things are part of the things that is being paid to you. If you don't understand very well, knowing that half of your money for the year has been paid to you in January, you might be hoping that every month you're going to be getting huge money. So you see, understanding it helps you to make informed decision, number one, because you need to understand that which part of your money has been paid to you, right? Irrespective of what you're doing, always ensure that any money that is coming into your account, you know or you understand what that money is for, is your income statement, and it helps you. I've said that it's going to help you to make informed decision. It's also going to help you, to appreciate, like appreciating your efforts, knowing where the money is coming from. If you don't work at the end of the month, there is no pay. All right. So it helps you to appreciate that your effort is what brings in this money. Another thing that is very important is that it also help you, to understand how value is created, maybe in your business. For instance, if you're running a business, all right, you will understand that, okay, it's because I took this action. That was why this huge amount of money was able to be made at month end. Okay, so knowing and understanding your income statement is very crucial so that you can be able to make informed decisions monthly or quarterly, depending on how you assess your information.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I do hope others that have questions, your questions will be cleared. Only if you can drop your question before the end of the show tonight. And if you have further questions regarding financial intelligence, I'm sure Mrs. Uchendu will be glad to receive your question in our DM on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and other platforms where you can reach out to her. And then for tonight, it's a free world where you can actually just ask your question and you get direct answer to the question. And because we've been getting direct answers to our question, that give us the assurance that our next question, which is question number 5, we also have a direct response to the question. Question 5: in what ways can financial intelligence help in identifying and mitigating business risk?
Okay, it helps. Financial intelligence help you to dictate, if there's any early potential risk. It helps you to detect that, right? For instance, if you're in a business, right, and let me I'm trying to use a simple example, right, so that we can be able to understand this. Sometimes, if let me use the business here. For instance, if you're in a fashion business, right, and you understand that every month, where you're in a plaza or you're in a mall, right, and knowing that your clients, you have a date that you gave them to pick up their clothes, and at the end of the month, maybe you have like maybe 10 times. And because of the resources you have, you now forgot that you making provision, for maybe fuel all the time in your generator or what you're using. If you don't allocate that, knowing that at month end or maybe next week, your clients are going to come and pick their clothes, you're going to lose your clients. So it's the same thing in business. If you're, for instance, into insurance, right, and there is risk to be paid, you now forgot that these people, they need, maybe their car got damaged and you're supposed to pay them month end. You did not make any allocation for them to be paid. You kept postponing it, maybe use the money for something else, or maybe there's no money. But if you remember very well and say, okay, the client, we need to sort out clients so that they won't go out there and give us bad review. So that is,
Mm.
it will help you to mitigate risk, number one. It's also going to help you to prioritize decision making, right? It's going to help you to prioritize decision making, having data at hand, knowing that this thing, if I do this, is going to help me to succeed in my business. That is also crucial. Another one is also identification of opportunities, right? We're in
Mm.
an era where when you utilize information very well, you're not just succeeding alone, right? It's going to help you to skyrocket maybe your business or career. So identifying opportunities is one of the things that it's also going to help you. So I think that's the 3 points
All
that
right.
I can give.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You've actually given enough information regarding that question, and we want to go on a short break. On a short break, and when we return, of course, we will continue with the show. And remember, this is Corporate Life Show with McAden. When we return, we will continue. Who was join us? Or, I mean, in this conversation, you are also able to. We'll be back shortly. All right, welcome back. This is the Corporate Life Show with McAden. I am excited, and we are back here on the show. My guest also is back with us, and we just took just a few seconds break to continue with the show, and then we'll be starting off from where we left the conversation. How do you feel, Mrs. Uchendu, being here at the Corporate Life Show tonight?
It's an amazing one, and I must also commend you that you're doing amazing work. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. We're so glad to get that from you. We have a team of people actually putting things together for us to enjoy
Wow.
at the Corporate Life Show with McAden. And we have lovely hands. And for those that want to join us in the future, you want to join the conversation and you have things to discuss here with us, I mean, why not reach out to us with a number scrolling on your screen? And if you want to actually sponsor the show so that I can reach as many people, because actually we are passionate, we are so passionate about this conversation getting to professionals out there. And that's why we're investing time and resources to bring this discussion to you for free, and for free. Thank you very much. We want to continue with the show and we want to move on to the next question. Question 6. I think we should be going to question 6. How can leveraging financial intelligence lead to a better investment decision
No,
for both
okay, I think it's
personal
question
and
7.
business?
Okay, I think it's question 7. We answered this before going on break.
We answered
Right?
this.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, it's question 5. It's question 5 that we answered. And
Okay, go
question
ahead.
6 is how can leveraging financial intelligence lead to a better investment decision for both personal right now, personal
Okay.
and business growth? Thank you.
Okay, so the first is that it helps you to achieve long-term success, long-term financial success, right? There are things that, you know, there's no, you can't achieve success per se in your financial status or whatever you're doing without you being able to plan for future, right? You need to plan for future because, like I said, the only thing permanent or the only thing constant is change. Knowing that the job or what you're doing currently is not your own, right? Sometimes age you might age might be might caught up with you, or you might be asked, or to be they might relieve you of your job or your duty. So planning from day one helps you to achieve long-term financial success. All right, ensure that if you're going to be investing, or if you're saving, or whatever you want to do, plan for the future. Don't just start investing your money or putting your money where there is this scheme. When you put money, you want it to multiply within a twinkle of an eye. It won't work. All right. So another thing is that another thing is that it also help you to make informed decision. There is nothing that you can do without you having like an informed decision. Whatever you're doing, if you know that if I put in step A, I'm going to be able to achieve step B and C, right? That is also what you need to be considering in your personal growth, in your personal career, or decisions that you want to take. Always ensure that you have informed decisions. Don't just go and jump in because someone is doing something and you feel that that is also going to be good for you. Ensure that you understand it very well before you start leveraging it.
Ensure that you have clear understanding, not because my friend is doing it. And I love the part where you mentioned MMM. Uh, to be candid, a lot of people fall victim of that. Even why they are knowledgeable about situations of things, but the
Hmm.
economy can force you to believe even the unbelievable. Now, I want to. Yes, the economy can force you to believe even the unbelievable. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, as a professional in that space of financial intelligence, how do you ensure that you don't allow pressure to make you believe that something is possible when it's actually not possible? How do you see? Because the essence of having financial intelligence is to be able to increase your what, your income or your earnings at the long run, and be able to
You
invest better. So how do you see in something and you can say, yes, this thing is not going to work?
You see, Google has made it easier for us, right? If you want to find out if something is scam, you just go there and just ask a question. You might be maybe the next person they want to target. You're going to see definitely someone must have said this is a scam. So first of all, you do your research. Don't be in a haste to jump in. Do your research. You can also ask questions, right? Ask friends, ask other people for their opinion. But using Google, it will help you to just resolve that. But if you now want to say, okay, I want to take the risk, I want to put one foot forward and see if it's going to work, then that means you just want to take the risk. But you can detect if something is a scam early by just going to Google and search for that.
Wow, interesting. That's the information there. That's the guidance there. That is the
Mhm.
advice. Just free to you, free to the hair. I mean, free to hair, free, just free of charge. Don't don't let them use you as an experience. Use their
Exactly.
experience and gain knowledge. All right, thank you very
Mhm.
much. That just came up. It wasn't planned for, but we need to what expand the scope of our conversation here on the show, and that's one of the wonderful thing about the Corporate Life Show. And we want to save time for questions that may be coming from the audience, and that is why we want to quickly move on to the next question as much as possible, save time. What are the financial what are the key financial metrics that every professional should understand to drive business performance?
Okay, thank you for this question. It's actually critical. Understanding financial metrics helps you a lot, and there are so many metrics actually. But I'm going to be talking about operating cash flow, right? That is, you measure how much cash the business has as a result of its operation. You don't just estimate without you knowing how much your business worth. So knowing the term operating cash flow, also return on assets is also very important. Return on assets, um, that is measured by dividing net profit by your company's average assets. Okay, so we also have another term which is working capital, right? Working capital means a measure of the business available operating liquidity. Okay, we also have you need to understand the gross profit margin. There are so many terms actually. There are so many things. So, but you need to understand that before you be able to do things, understand what are the metrics. It's just like when someone is given a job description, right? And they're
Mhm.
going to say at month end, we'll have key performance indicators. So also understand that when you're into when you at month end, right, as a professional or before you start a job, understand the metrics, the financial metrics, what it means, so that you not just be over expecting, so that you not just be over as some money are not being paid immediately, some money are being paid upfront, then other ones are now divided monthly. Understanding these things help a lot so that you don't go and put yourself in debt, you know.
Mm.
So it helps
Mm.
a lot.
Interesting, interesting. Thank you very much. It's been a conversation. It's been
Okay.
actually a conversation here at the Corporate Life Show with McAden, and we will be moving on straight to the next questions. I do hope we have questions. I've not been seeing comments from the comment section of our audience, but then the show continues as we tackle some of the questions we have in house. Question 8, that takes us to question 8. You can explain these using as much time as it's necessary. How does financial intelligence influence sees influence strategic planning and long-term business sustainability?
Okay. First is that it helps you to optimize your resources appropriately, right? It helps you to the when you're able to understand that first is that your financial intelligence ensures effective allocation of resources, and also it helps you to maximize in order not to waste. Because when you understand that this particular fund is meant for something, you're not going to misappropriate it and use it for something else, right? Then another thing is that it's also going to help you to identify opportunities and risk, right? There are some risks that we call high risk. You have to understand, can you play this type of risk at this time, knowing that knowing that it helps you to reduce the type of risk that you can take, so that your money or your hope at the end of the day will not crash. Okay, then another thing is also it helps you to ensure sustainability, right? When you know that you can be able to afford a certain some things, it helps you to allocate resources accordingly. You don't just go and cut or maybe try to do things that your resources can't carry you. Okay, then the fourth one is it also encourages continuous improvement. You can't Once you are alive, there is always room for improvement, right? You don't just keep being stagnant, being the same thing or the same person that you are over and over again. It helps you to improve continuously.
Wow, wow, that's interesting. That is interesting. Let me just hold on there and ask this question.
Okay.
Let me just move straight to the question we have next for you, and then I'll come back to share the story about that man I was talking about earlier on and what happened to him. What happened to him? What really happened to him? It's actually a funny situation, and it's a lesson I picked from there. And I do wish our audience can pick same lesson, even better one from the story. So, question number 9: can you share example of successful business leaders who have utilized financial intelligence to achieve remarkable growth? And for me, let me add to that question.
Okay.
Don't just mention them. Um, Share with us a scenario, just like the one I want to share with us. A scenario how
Okay.
they've been able to use financial intelligence towards for their business growth.
Okay. For instance, we have OPay. These are business leaders. This this brand came on board when Nigerians are looking for a way to reduce the you go to the bank, you stay there for like forever, right? Now these people came on board using financial intelligence, knowing that okay, this is what these people need at this time, and you can see how it even during the cash crunch, you can see how people were. It helps when you enter if you're going somewhere or at the market, you simply, transfer payment and people will get it immediately. Do you understand? In fact, uh, like if this, if our maybe you ask me to give them score, in fact, there's nothing that will not make me that period because it is what the masses need. The data, they have the data at hand and they know that they have captured people. There's no place you will go that you will not see anybody, you will not see someone with OP. So these people, they've mastered the art of using financial intelligence to tackle people's problem. Then another brand also is we also have Migo, right? So Migo is also a fintech startup that provides working capital loans to SMEs, with minimal documentation. You already know that if you want to get a loan, right, you have to bring your great grandfather's documents, all those things to secure. You understand?
Yeah.
So now, they have made it easy. You can't even when you collect loan, you're not just going to disappear. It's not possible because with the information they have, you're traceable. So these are the things you need to. The data you have is like currency. If you can utilize the data you have, you're going to thrive in your business. You're going to thrive in your personal career. Don't just make a decision without you analyzing the data you have. So these are the two brands that I want to mention.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. So coming back to my stories, right? I'm sure I'm sure everyone is eager to hear my story. It's not actually a story,
Yes.
it is a true life story of an individual. And
Wow.
what really happened? Okay, where did I leave the story? Where did I stop? Where did I stop?
Okay, when he
Uh,
was asked to go, it was only his clothes that he took because the house is not his
yes.
own.
Okay.
The
So
car as well.
in fact, he was saved the stress of even moving chairs because the chairs were not his. The
Mm-hmm.
TV is not his. The
Mm.
refrigerator inside his house is not his.
Wow.
Name them. The only thing that belongs to him is just his clothes and shoes. Wow, interesting one. Uh,
Interesting.
so eventually, he needed a space to stay, and he reached out to someone among all his colleagues. He reached out to every one of them. None of them could help out at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
luckily, his driver was in the known of all this process, and so the driver reached out to him and said, "Oh, I think he may be able to find a place for him to stay, but at an
Wow.
affordable, small token amount that he will have to pay. That he will get a place
Mm.
for him to stay at a token, very very affordable amount." So on a long, I mean, to cut this long story short, the driver got him the place, and he moved the things there, and he paid the token to get the rent settled, and he observed that the driver usually come around to visit, play with everyone in in the compound. He was like, "Come, what? Do you have any other thing you are doing here apart from the fact that you are coming to visit?"
Mm.
That was where the driver had to sit him down and tell him that he owned the property. He was
Imagine.
shocked that his own driver is
Imagine.
now his own landlord. Wow.
Wow.
Where his driver became a landlord. So you can imagine being in that moment, being in that spot, how
Mm.
he must have felt that
Mm-hmm.
all this while he has been living in a mansion, living what
Exactly.
a life of luxuries, and enjoying everything that comes around, and without a plan for the future. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the lesson, the moral from that story. It's a life story. I just don't want to mention where this took place,
Yes.
and which of the organization this person worked for. And I was shocked to hear that story. But then
Mm.
it happens everywhere, and I'm sure people can share their own story that these things happen out there. People don't plan
Mm-hmm.
for the future because they lack
True.
financial intelligence, and that is one of
Mm-hmm.
the things we've been able to tackle on this show tonight. And I only hope that this content, this conversation, do not stop at the table of someone watching. You can actually share the file to as many people as possible so that they can get the knowledge that has been shared on this show. And you can also always reach out to Mrs. Uchendu, who will be sharing with you more tips on how to what to grow your finances and aim to grow in your financial life, and even as it may affect your business or your career. And that's one of the things we've been able to achieve with tonight's show. And I'm going to ask Mrs. Uchendu one more question, then we'll go to the last question. Question 10, which is usually our final question before we ask you finally for what any other words you have. But then, question 10, what tools and resources are available to individuals looking to enhance their financial intelligence for career and business advancement?
Okay, there are several tools out there, and there are also the first. If I start from seeking mentors, right? Mentors are your cheat code, right? There are also maybe resources on YouTube, free resources that you can also check out, right? Apart from YouTube, check mentors. Search for people that are also into easiest way. One of the easiest ways for you to be able to achieve your growth that you desire or deserve is for you to, to mimic someone or look up to someone who is already successful in that area and start doing that. Okay. Then there is we also have trainings. All right. There are also financial intelligence app that you can also check out, right? Check financial advisors or consultants in this area so that you can be able to. The internet is full. We have so many people that are into that. Just if you're on LinkedIn or on Instagram or Facebook, use the keyword that you're looking for, the particular keyword for maybe advisor or a mentor or financial consultant. Type in and then you can start from there.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before I go to the last question, I want to ask: have you had experiences with people where they miss out on opportunity because of lack of financial intelligence, and what really happened? Can you share a story in that regard if you have any?
Okay, there is this the story that you just shared is actually similar, right, to when I was working, right? There is one
Okay.
organization I worked for.
Oh,
I
sorry,
won't
sorry. You
mention.
said when you're working. Have you stopped working?
Sorry, I'm saying when I was in a
Don't mind.
particular organization. So let me not just mention the name, right? When I was in a
Okay.
particular organization, right? So you know, just you know, just something similar to what you shared. But this person, when the person was made the branch head, right, and the car, the allowance, and all those things, but just within, like, I think it was just 6 months to 8 months, he was
Mhm.
relieved of his job. Sometimes, in fact, he did see it coming. I know how these people, how they do this thing. Letter will just come from head office, and before you know it, you know that same day it was just like, is this a dream or something? I found out
Mm.
that even from day one you're not able to have something tangible, because you are hoping that maybe you're going to be in this organization for the next 5 years, and unfortunately you're not even up to 1 year, right? So you being able to start from day one, anything that you're doing, any organization that you're into, understand that from day one, you don't have the the privilege of what is going to happen tomorrow, right? Start today to make informed decisions about your earnings, about your financial status. Make long-term
Mhm.
plan. Whatever you're earning, invest. Take part of it. Don't consume everything, hoping that tomorrow your salary is going to be increased or magic is going to happen. The earlier you start planning, the better for you. Can you hear
Thank
me?
you. Thank you very much. Uh,
You're welcome.
you know, as you give that illustration, that story, I thought about it. We've been giving illustration about people in corporate world, people who are actually work for an organization. Now, it brought me to a point where I need to ask a question forward on who do you think is being affected the most uh, from the lack of financial intelligence? Is it the entrepreneurs or the professionals? When I say professional, I mean those working in an organization or working for some businesses. Who is affected the most?
Both, you know, both, because even if you're a career person, you need to make informed decisions with your the statement that you have with your income statement, right? But entrepreneur, in fact, and I will say that is entrepreneur um, to some certain level, because things changes all the time. If you're in online world, for instance, what is working this week, just the way algorithm, Instagram, LinkedIn algorithm, Facebook, Meta algorithm, they're just changing every day. Every week there's new updates every week. So you have to stay up to date with these trends, with this information, right? In order to be able to know what's next, how you can move your business forward. So I think entrepreneurs are somehow on the first side of it. They are mostly affected. Then after that, you cannot talk of professionals. You know, so I can say
All
60
right.
40.
60-40. All right, no
Yeah.
problem. I'll take that from you. But then, what's your final word for us on the show tonight? It's been a time of learning. What is your final word for us tonight?
Okay, my final word is this. First, today is the best time for you to start if you've not started using financial intelligence. If you've not started, or if you don't even know what it is, I just define it as you being able to use the information at your hand to make informed decision. You need to understand that today is the best day for you to start. All right, because it will help you to grow to grow in your profession. It will help you during your retirement, so that you won't be asking, so I've worked all through my life and I couldn't even have something, for myself or for my children. Then as a business owner, you need to understand that for your business to grow or to scale to the next level, you need data, you need the information, you need to stay current with the trends. All right, start today. Today is the best time to start. And if you don't know how to get started, always seek out mentors. Mentors are cheat codes. That's the word.
All right, thank you very much. It's been a conversation with Mrs. Uchendu tonight, and
Okay.
we are at that stage where we need to say a big thank you to you for joining us on the show tonight. And remember, this is Corporate Live Show with McAden. These shows take place every Friday evening on the hour of 7 o'clock, and we kickstart with conversations on matters that affect you and your business, no matter what it is. And tonight we've done so well. And thank you once again, Mrs. Uchendu, for being here
You're
with us. I
welcome. Thank
hope
you.
for you oblige our call.
Sure.
Thank you very much. And
You're
from here in
welcome.
the studio to all the team members at the Corporate Life Show with McAden, we want to say a very big thank you to everyone that have joined us, and those that will be watching the record version of this episode of the Corporate Life Show. And then till we see again, remember next week is another time we'll be talking about your health. What you consume can consume you. What you consume can consume you. Just wait till next week Friday when we'll be discussing your health matters. And my guest is already ready. I mean, he's ready for you. He's readily ready for you. And it's going to be an interesting one. Just as much as information you've gathered today, you will gather even much more next week when we'll meet again. And Miss Uchendu, have a wonderful weekend. It was
Same here.
nice.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye. All right. Thank you very much, everyone.